Gosh, now I've lost it. Let me try to find this. Image, where is this image? Right. There's this, and then there is this. So, as a sort of kind of maybe not so much dealing with the sort of work Trevor Hagelin does, but the Douglas Davings writing about the internet and the world's first collaborative sentence and early net art, which in a sense we will look at more next week. But I do want to show you this. This is kind of a little bit of a show off. Just share my screen again. Here are some images I've taken of some very interesting and obscure places. They are, in a sense, like that Trevor Paglen work, highly restricted. It's not easy to get here, but once you do, it's very interesting. And it's sort of, again, going back to sort of the origins of, again, the sort of digital media world. This is a hallway on the left. Can everyone see this? I think so. This is a hallway at CERN, which again is a place where I have worked on and off over the last 10 years. And I had to get, as I might have even said, really crazy security clearance. I even had to do retina scans and stuff because it's very, it's not a military place, but it's the European Organization for Nuclear Research, where they have the Large Hadron Collider, and they've created all sorts of very world-changing technologies. A few days ago was the birthday of the World Wide Web, and just let me think, let me count. 1993, 2003, 13. So it's 28 years old this week. And this is a photo that not many people have seen, because this is the hallway where the World Wide Web was born. And as you can see, it's a bit of a shithole, really. CERN, you know, in pop culture, they, you know, it sounds like it's really high tech, and some parts of it are, but it's also pretty crappy. Just one of these doors here on the right is the office where Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web, invented it. And his mate, the guy he worked with, is a friend of mine called Mick Storr. And Mick Storr sat right next door to Tim Berners-Lee, no pun intended. And this is Mick Storr's computer. And it's now sitting in the office across from my studio at CERN. I don't know if ever I'll be able to go back there. But this has the original version of the World Wide Web on it. And so, here's a little exclusive. This is one of the computers where the World Wide Web was born on it. And as I was saying earlier, the original idea of the World Wide Web, which again we will sort of revisit over the next few weeks, but I thought because it's the web's birthday, let's have a look at it today. You know, some people, one of Tim Berners-Lee's other mates or co-workers wanted to privatize it from the start, and Tim Berners-Lee said, no, it's only going to work if it's completely open source and openly accessible to everyone, everywhere in the whole world, without any secret passwords or subscriptions or whatever. And that's, you know, his vision and CERN's vision of the World Wide Web. was something that it would be sort of, open and free, and anyone could access it, basically to share knowledge and improve humanity. And of course, that has worked to a certain extent, but then, as I was saying just before, on one level, the second incarnation of that, even, sort of Google and Microsoft, things like Facebook, where they monetize it and they make money off it, certainly that actually really did corrupt it. And a perfect example of that, companies like Cambridge Analytica, who you might have heard of before, who basically got Donald Trump into power by targeted advertising and misinformation. Let's be frank about that. They caused Brexit and Donald Trump. And they use some very clever and insidious algorithms. And that is something that we will be visiting later on. But it's kind of strange to see, again, as was written in this article by Douglas Davis, a year after the internet was born, this struggle between centralization and control and openness and, and accessibility. And you can even see competing political paradigms, sort of fighting in the nature of the internet itself. On one level, its openness is, equatable with socialism, and even, completely open networks, complete peer-to-peer networks, are equatable with anarchism, which isn't just about chaos, it's about everyone having equal, and, they're, if everyone's equal and sharing, there doesn't need to be methods of control. And then on the other side, when you have, clamped down and sort of privatized internet, and it's a very hierarchical system, or even things like, Microsoft Network and Channel 9 and Channel 10 teaming up, Sky News skewing the news and censoring things, and then when they're censored, they get all huffy, as has been seen in Australian politics recently. It's just sort of, it's kind of, these digital landscapes are, in a sense, mirroring the human struggles that we've been talking about, even, futurism and communism and all of that. So it's very interesting. But getting back to this, here's a funny thing. Down here, because this is in the basement of CERN, you can't even get good Wi-Fi. It's really hard to get onto the internet, which is completely ridiculous. Where the internet was born, right behind this door, it's hard to access it, only because the technology is so kind of crappy, ironically. And then we have these lovely old machines that, this is like the Gutenberg press, but it's just kind of gathering dust and rust. It's a very strange thing. So there you go. There's some little personal anecdotes, and inside scoop on the birth of the internet, on its birthday. So I don't think many people know that it was literally born in this hallway. So there you go. Again, it's getting off track a bit, but I just thought I should share that. Right. For those of you who want to look at this digital landscapes, digital Anthropocene readings more, it is all there on the week 3 module. But as I said at the start of the class, there's a lot of this stuff, as you'll see, there's lots and lots and lots of reference stuff there for you. For each of these weekly themes, that's partially to help your own Assignment 1 presentations. So, as I said before, and I will just revisit this PDF. We've kind of skipped this week due to me having next week off. And I have tapped into, just giving you a little preview of net art and digital materiality, but we are going to be talking about that more next week. Once again, I will share the screen one more time, just to make sure you guys are clearly up to speed with that. Is the screen sharing now? Yes. So, we've sort of removed Group B from, which should have been this week, and you guys in Group A presented this week if you couldn't last week. So next week, Group C are going to present on this at the start of the class on this theme, and the same goes for the next, well, for the rest of the semester. So I just want to make sure everyone is again clear on that, and as I said at the start of the class, depending on grand final holiday, and even if there is one, that may kind of be shifted and share this one. Right, hopefully that all makes sense. I will go back to, so week 3, as I said, here's the stuff that we have looked at a bit. There's some Susan Collins, here's some other interesting things about net art and cyber landscapes and stuff. And there's Shakespeare's Dream. So, as I said, next week, your homework for next week is to, as it says here, you've got readings. This is what we did today. Next week we're going to do that, and then there's the Critical Engineering Manifesto and Borges on Exactitude in Science. This is for everyone, your homework readings, so that when, and I can't change this because this has to be for everyone, because this is the overall thing, because there's other groups doing this, so just ignore that. That's why I was saying in terms of who's presenting what, this is just for us. We have to update this. So, just to be clear, Group C is doing this, Group D is doing this, etc. I think I'm clear there. But everyone, the reading, and you'll see the links in the reading list, everyone has to read these 2 things. They're not big, but they will sort of launch off our discussions and our sort of presentations about week 4, critical engineering and platform labor. There's an overview there. So reading those readings, you're going to have a bit of a kind of more informed understanding of when we talk about week 4's theme. Gosh, right, now to assignment 2. And again, running a little bit out of time here. So in the last 10 minutes, I have to present to you assessment 2. So as I kind of have suggested, assessment 2 is a cultural icon homage, or homage. It can be said either way. So it says, choose a project by a well-known artist or digital designer or group that exhibits a particular aesthetic and an emotional, moral, or ethical message that you think is worthy of homage and reverence. Again, I did want to show you the other student from last semester that did Hannah Hoff. I'll have to find that for next week, because that was a very good homage. Think about what excites your reverence, or what excites you, and creates a homage by making a digital media project, digital artwork, or digital culture project. So you're producing a homage, a response to it. It can be a net art web page, sound work, performance, video work, digital environment, i.e. VR, AR. Experimentation is encouraged. You can use any combination of any media, but it's a good idea to focus on developing and implementing new digital skills as part of your project. So try to push yourselves technically and conceptually. The Contextual reference needs to be very clear in your work and relate to something distinctive about the earlier work, but isn't just a tribute or a copy. Your homage may be through reusing and exploring a particular technique, style, or visual form, or structure, some other key device you've gained from the work, so you think it's important and it must be acknowledged. The assignment is in preparation for your final assignment, where you'll go beyond homage to create your own unique works. And there's some notes on homage. Homage to pay respect or reverence, to show deep respect. The term homage originated in peasants declaring their allegiance to their feudal lord. Interestingly enough, yes, this does tie into what we were talking earlier about revolutions and communism and futurism. However, in more recent times, it's come a mean way of showing or paying respect to someone who's greatly influenced you. You are openly acknowledging previous work and celebrating what you find to be interesting, inspiring, and relevant about it. Okay, submission specs. Your work should be submitted in the form of your choice to Canvas, if it's multimedia or moving image, or a big file, provide a URL. Also, submission, learning objectives. Your submission will include a 300-word reflective artistic statement identifying your homage and evaluating the success and failures of your project. If you try to do something and it's kind of a nice idea but it doesn't quite work, that's fine. Acknowledge and identify that. Writing in the first person is fine. Please use correct referencing citations if necessary. Of course, if you're going to do a homage to a particular work, you have to reference that in the writing. Class times will be devoted to feedback and discussion of your works. So from now on, we're going to do sort of crit session where I might jump out into breakout rooms with some of you and talk about your works and how they're going. There is here a rubric. We can talk more about this later, but that just shows how the marks are broken down. And it's due. I'm going to change this, actually. Again, I can't change it to the overall things to the other group, but because we have missed a week, I'm going to make this a week later. I'll send out an email to just this group. So it's going to be due Friday, 4th of September. Any questions? And it's worth 40% of your final mark. Hopefully you've got some questions about that. Have a read. Hopefully you're all reading it. Hopefully you've all got.
Sure, stuff will come up.
Yes.
To start.
Yes, absolutely. Look, part 1 by next week, which is also part of your homework. Get like if you haven't chosen one particular thing, get a top 5, which we can discuss in class. Like what's your top 5, and they are kind of, it should be generally contemporary artworks, and by contemporary I kind of probably mean the last 20 years. Because they're sort of about digital homages. If you really wanted to do something that's a homage to, I don't know, the Mona Lisa or Salvador Dali, that's possible too. But it's supposed to be, a contemporary homage. Come on, we should have more questions than that. I could try and find it because I've got my hard drive here with my last semester's work. If I give you an example, it might help. But really, it's really. I think I'm. Hang on. Let me just try one more time. Let me try one more time. I think I know where it is. It might take me a bit, but look, while I'm looking at this, please read assessment task 2 right now, because hopefully you will have some questions.
It's nothing to large scale or anything, right?
No. Look, it's not like you're going to recreate, that sort of VR version of Shakespeare's, Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream. Again, I am distracted by trying to find this example. I will have to show it to you next week. I think I've almost got it here. No. We'll have to look through all of these things. No, it's going to take me hours to find this. So sorry guys. Aha! I found it. There we go. Hey. Right. I did find it. So, wait. See, sometimes stubbornness and perseverance does pay off. So, here we go. Let me just share the screen here. This student was Shanzi. You're not in this class too, are you? No, that would be ironic. Lovely piece here. So I'll just share the screen one last time, and again, this was kind of inspired by Rainer's Dadaist presentation today. It made me think of this. So this is a homage to that, even though the source work, the Hannah Hoff work, is 100 years old. It's playing with the nature of collage and sort of cut up stuff in a beautiful way. So I might just finish off with this today. So there we go, yay! A simple little homage, but really, really fun and quite dynamic. So hopefully that has given you guys some food for thought.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. No, good. Well, thanks again. Thanks Group A for presenting today. I know things have been thrown out a bit because of having last week off and stuff, but we will get back up to speed over the next few weeks. And yeah, for next week, as I said, there's readings. I want everyone to do them this time because we're going to look at net art. And you guys, Group C, you're going to be presenting on that next week too at the start of class. So I guess that's it for this week. So thanks everyone, and I will see you next Friday.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.